Hello, poor people. How are you today? I will share the unseen factors that leads to success. I say unseen because most people focus on the outcome of the result as opposed to the various facilitation that produce the outcome, which is almost or equally as important as the outcome in and of itself. So, for instance, if you work as hard as possible, it's most likely you are focusing on improving on the project or improving on the skill or improving on the outcome. But as touching the various factors that leads to the outcome, you're at a loss. If you speak to any successful person you know, how can I be as successful as you? Or how can I make more money? They give you the generic advice. Work as hard as possible, be focused, be disciplined, concepts you're already familiar with. But what they don't tell you, because they themselves are at a loss as touching the process, all they did was work as hard as possible and boom, they were successful. But there are things underneath that produces results, not just hard work. Hard work is a very key component because for the human species in this day and age of insanity to get to a point where they take action is divine in and of itself. So yes, I'm not trying to downplay action or effort. That's far from it. In fact, you cannot get or you cannot experience the hidden factors of success without taking action, as you'll be learning. So there are hidden factors that produces results. Now this video doesn't aim to instruct you. The information armed with it helps you become more motivated to achieve your desired goals. And this is the problem with most people. They have no idea of what their actions are laddering up to. That's why they quit. That's why they give up. You do not give up because you're tired or you're undisciplined. Those are key factors. But chiefest among all, the fact that you get up every single day, go to a job, go to school, or you do something you don't like is because you have no idea what those efforts are laddering up to. Even if you are going in the right direction, for as long as you do not sustain an end goal, you would inevitably quit. Think about it like this. Two people. First guy is instructed to run for 5 minutes. Second guy is instructed to just run. Who stops first? Exactly. So the laps of the second guy might be even significantly lower than that of the first. But the idea of no destination is what weakens his resolve. So the idea of not knowing what makes it work, not knowing if I give up every single thing, whether I'll achieve the result, is what makes you weak. So please understand, the idea of taking infinite action, giving every single thing, ignoring the parties, ignoring every single thing just to make this work, the idea that all those actions are being coalesced to produce an outcome is what's discouraging. So for as long as you know where you are headed, it's most likely you won't stop. To produce an outcome, you must have an idea of where you're headed. That's the first thing. But the nucleus of this discussion, let's take hard work for instance. Hard work. Hard work in and of itself produces success. And I don't want to go over content. People have hours of content speaking on that aspect, which is if you work hard on something, it's most likely you improve on the skill, you improve on the job, or you get more done as a consequence of the effort, but the unseen factor associated with hard work is this idea that once you work hard, it attracts favor. Hard work brings people to you. It makes individuals want to help. I'll give you an instance. Years ago in high school, we all have this staff which is feared in high school. So on this day, I had issues with this man. He seized my property on the basis of once you're done clearing this portion, it will be handed to you. So first day go by without my property. I tried clearing this massive plot of land. It was difficult, so I reached out to a couple of friends for help. The first guy I go to, he says, "Oh, this happens." The bottom line is, I can't help. I go to my other friend. I have lessons. I go to someone else. Please, I'm not interested. 5 days go by. I don't have my property and I'm nowhere close to my goal. I decided to do it myself. Start cutting. 20 minutes into it, someone passes by. What's the problem? This feared staff, he took my property. This is my punishment. And we begin to engage in a conversation. Why is helping me clear up? As people pass by, they cut to the grid and stop. I thank them. Someone else passes, and before the day ran out, the project was done. The point I'm trying to highlight is what took me 5 days of complaining and trying to seek help in an attempt to start was done by within 2 to 3 hours. Every single thing was cleared and I retrieved my property. So hard work attracts people. Hard work wants to make people help you. The Bible famously puts it, heaven helps those who help themselves. So for as long I was waiting for the stars to align, waiting for someone to help me, it would not work. So you have to take the reins, take responsibility in order for it to work. So for as long as you wait for someone to help you, for something to happen, it's never going to happen. That massive plot of land would never have been cleared if I didn't take the initiative. But there's this guy who works very hard. He has poultry just by the corner of our apartment. So every single morning he gets up, does what he's supposed to do. He's working as hard as possible. And one day, just because of how hard he's working, I just decided to purchase X amount of chickens from him through a kind of a mini party, not celebrating anything in particular, but just share for the neighbors in an attempt to patronize his business. Every single one of you has someone on your contact list who posts his or her business every single day, consistently. One day, something along that lines comes across your table. Who do you think you're giving it? Exactly. So one of the unseen factors of hard work, it attracts people to help you. Not only does it make you competent enough to provide that service, but it attracts people to help. That's something you do not have direct control over. You have direct control over how hard you work, but not over the kind of people who would come as well as help. Because humans hate nothing more than manipulation. They love this idea of acting out of their own will. You hear this, and this is something you learn in sales school. You should make people feel like they bought as opposed to being sold. So let them feel like they bought as opposed to being sold. For the sake of time, we'll end it here. As always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.